Welcome to Nights of Hyperion. I'm Vito the Gray. All right, tonight it's a one-on-one with a guest that I've had on the show before. It'll be a year in October that he's been on the show. He's been in and out of Houston quite a bit, and he's back in Houston, but it's his final night well, tomorrow's his final full day, but let's say that tonight's his final night in Houston, and it's Wolfgang von Odio.
What up? What's going on? What's going on, Dave? Vito, what's up? I suck at this.
It's okay. You could call me Dave. It doesn't matter. People say my name all the time on the show. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Enjoying life here in Houston one last time.
I mean,
one last shot and salute, as they say.
And you're going back home to Atlanta?
I'm going back home to Atlanta tomorrow night. Will be the night. So,
you excited?
ATL, but I am very fucking excited, dude. There's like no other city in the world quite like Atlanta, Georgia. So,
yeah.
like, I'm ready to like get on with it.
Yeah, and then you got
get on with things.
And then you got an art show coming up here in town in
I
October
do, and I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for those dates.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I know, everybody's gonna know because I'm a fucking blabbermouth. But they're what they were proposed to me was an Adult Swim and an anime art show, separate shows. So I'm gonna do both of those.
Nice, man. And you got pieces already set up.
I've already got pieces
right?
set up for the Adult Swim thing, man. Like, and they're popping. Like, you can get a little preview on my Tumblr if you want to go there. But other than that, just come to Houston. Come to Houston and buy them. Because that's the only way you're going to get them.
Right, and in LA, you have one going on now?
In LA, there is an art show ongoing for the rest of the month. So if you're in Los Angeles, you can go. It's at this great little video game store called World 8. It's over on Vermont Ave. My man Carlos Lopez from Angry Bananas, he's the guy curating the show. It's one of his first big events where he's doing it himself, so go support Carlos.
Angry Bananas is his like company or like
it's like a video game. It's like a video game sort of like podcast in a multimedia enterprise that this guy set up, and he's been working at for the last probably like 10, 12 years, man.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's busy like all the time, and he's always doing stuff. He's always doing like events for like autism research and stuff like that. He's just a really nice dude. And like, if you're in LA, go check out this show. It's for Dragon Quest. It's called A Monster Draws Near, a tribute to Dragon Quest. And I have a piece in there, and if you want to go buy the piece, you'll make me very happy. But just go for it, man. Like, check it out. There's a lot of cool artists. There's a lot of cool art. There's a lot of sculpture. And LA needs that kind of shit, man. Like, come on.
Designer like figure sculptures?
Yeah. It's cool. You can actually go to the event page. You can see all kinds of like mad shit artists have been coming up with for the event.
What's the event page? Like on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, it's on Facebook. You just type in A Monster Draws Near, or you could probably just go to the World 8 Facebook page.
Yeah.
And go straight to it.
Right, cool. So, in perspective on what you've been working on, what have you actually been working on from aside from getting things ready from the Adult Swim art show and the other show that we were actually discussing the other night, the fetish show that he wants to do?
Yeah, so like here in Houston, I've noticed like the couple of years that I've been hanging out around here that there's a huge counterculture for people who are into freaky sex shit, man. And I kind of love it. I think that's awesome. And like, that's something that I've never really expressed a lot in like my own work, but I'm just going to admit it right here and now on your show. And for the 5 people who are watching on like my live stream,
you're live now?
I'm live now. So, like, I'm going to admit I am a huge pervert and I love hentai. And,
hey, there's a reason why our sponsor is a company that's their clothing is based off of like etchy inspired clothing.
For real, man.
Like,
I mean, like,
we're all about that shit too, man.
Let's be real, man. Like, we're all kind of perverts.
I mean, we're all about that shit too. I mean, look at our walls.
There is a lot going on.
Like look at our walls. I mean, like, no shame here, man. Like, it's still a form of anime, and it's still a form of artwork if you think about it. And sometimes it's a really good story, and sometimes it's just meant to be.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes
perverted.
it's a story that'll just make you fucking cry, man. That happened to me last year, and that's kind of what got me on the whole like hentai boat. I was like, yeah, that shit's just trash, right? And no, it's not. Like, it's art, just like anything else. And I want to do something for it, but I don't just want to do it and throw it out there. It seems like it's like the popular thing now to like do it. So I want there to be a purpose, so a show where like I have a couple like maybe exclusive prints in there. Go get them at the show.
Yeah.
And that'd be like the only place you can go. I'm all about exclusivity, dude. Like I don't want to have a lot of shit floating around out there like a lot of other artists. You know? Like, you're not going to be able to buy a $25 print from me. Ever. You can get like a free PNG file and print it out yourself for $25, but that ain't gonna happen, man. Like, I want to keep it very rare. Like, if you want something with my name on it, you're gonna have to pay me for that.
You're gonna have to find it at the art shop.
And then you're gonna have to like find it. You're gonna literally have to be lucky enough to like go to a place where because I'm, like I said, man, I really just want to keep this shit under the table as much as fucking possible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be famous.
You don't want to be famous
at all,
but you do want to be known.
But I want to be infamous. I think that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like never. I guess you like if they never put a face to the artwork, you know, kind of like how Banksy. You never know. You don't know who he is, or like what he looks like.
I really love that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love that motherfucker for his subversions. Though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, people who make subversive art, they're like the real masters. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like the real, like, they're always the fucking real deal to me. Because anybody, man, like, they're literally, and it's been proven over the last couple of years, anyone can do what I do.
Yeah.
But to subvert it, that takes something else, you know? It's a strange pot, I guess, but to me, like, that's always the ultimate goal, is for there to be like an underlying feeling about it.
What do you mean?
I guess
like a sense of a message of emotion, or
well, it's like in hentai, right? Uh-huh. Like it's like an edgy shit. Like, you see it, and of course it's a girl with nut all over her. You know what I'm saying? And she's just like laying there like cross-eyed with like spunk all over her fucking face. But it's the way that it's done. It's the way that it's carried over from each panel. It's like there's a movement and a subtlety about those movements, which subverts the idea of it being just pornography, you know? Mm-hmm. And becomes something a little bit more beautiful than just two people ramming on each other, which can be kind of gross after a while.
Well, yeah, because then it becomes like animal instinct afterwards. But whenever it's in a hentai, there's like, they make sure that they add the emotion that's happening. Like, you see the reaction between the two characters and how like they're physically reacting to each other.
And doesn't that make it better too? I mean, really?
Like, I'm reading this one called Shady Dealings.
Yeah. You're telling me about that.
And like in like the first couple like pages, it's like about this chick. She's like on a train. She's like thinking to herself what she has to do, and all of a sudden she feels like this guy like coming up, rubbing up on her, and she's like, "Oh fuck, it's gonna happen again." And I'm here thinking that she's like about to get like molested or raped and on the train, like without anybody noticing. But it turns out like as a dude grabs like a feel on her, she pulls out her phone and is like, "Hey, before you do anything, these are my prices. This is what I offer."
You were actually showing me this panel the other day.
Yeah, and it's like, it kind of just like confused the shit out of me. I was like, I was not expecting that turn.
Shady Dealings. If you're listening to this, go read it. It's definitely something else.
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. It's really interesting because she has to like, she found like a super affordable apartment, but she doesn't have to pay anything, and then like she like lets her like landlord fuck her just so she can live there. It's also really sad that what she has to do to survive and have a place to live, and she just sells herself for it. But it's interesting. The next chapter looked really happy. I haven't read the next chapter yet because it looks like she's at school with her friend, and I haven't read it yet. But that was the first like opening page for the next chapter. It's just her meeting up with her friend.
You know what's gonna happen, right? Like it's gonna give you a little bit of hope, and then it's gonna crush all of.
Yeah, her friend's probably gonna be just the same thing.
What was the name of that one that was like really fucking popular last year, and it had all those memes? It's like called Metamorphosis or something like that. And it was about the girl. Like, you remember this? It was about the girl.
I never read it, but
it's
I know
about this. About. You know what I'm talking about? It was really popular. That was the one that got me, right? Because I'm reading this fucking thing, and I'm just like, don't just like. It's kind of like that show I was telling you guys about the other night. The increasingly poor decisions of Top Mario. It's like the increasingly poor decisions of this dumb girl who just was just like, nah, man, you know what? Dick and pills, cool.
Yeah.
Like, until she ends up, suffering a horrible fate. And it's just like, God damn it, what am I reading now? But it was captivating and sad and awful, and I just finished Goodnight Poon Poon, and I need something that was awful to like sort of, I guess, like it just just the sad whipped cream on a sad creme brulee or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you just needed to continue with
the sad. I
needed
to continue with the sad, and boy howdy was it something else.
Yeah.
If you've ever read that and you didn't cry, you're a sociopath, and you need to go.
You need to go figure yourself out.
You need to go figure yourself out a lot.
No shit, man.
That's terrible.
That's crazy.
You should read it.
That's crazy.
You probably really dig it.
My friend and our number one fan, Pierre in Canada. He's also in our Discord channel, is known as Magpie.
Hello, Pierre.
He actually read that book, and he said it was something else.
It is something else. Yeah. Well, you know that like a manga, like it's when it's something else. Like when that's like the term, like when that's like what you have to say about it. Well, that was fucking something else, buddy.
Yeah.
It's something.
Right.
I don't know whether to tell you if it was good or not. But man, it was a ride. And yeah, man, if hentai's like that, sure, bring it on. Let's do it. So yeah, I want to do a fetish show at Insomnia. I want to do that. If they have one, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a piece in there.
Before you go, we got to make sure to give you some of the scans on that Please Miss Yuri book that I have.
That would be perfect.
Because that's like a teacher fetish.
And like scanning your own manga, like really for what, like for the stuff that I make is just so much better for like the overall image, because I can go so much bigger with a scanned image. Yes, that sounds like it would be perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely perfect. I kind of even have it conceptualized like already exactly like what I want to do. So
you should. I should let you dig through that Megami book, that thick ass book with all the mangas for the weekly manga book.
Oh, like
that's like a Shonen Jump essentially, but the Megami. Yeah. Actually, I got all those posters from that book actually. But no, you should flip through that and see if there's anything in there you like that you should use.
I love how you've got like they can't see this, but like I love how you've got like your Skyrim poster and then just straight like naked anime chicks. Like that's a beautiful thing.
More to come.
You got your Dovahkiin and then you got your Novocaine.
Yeah. More to come too, man. It's we're just not afraid to be ourselves, and that's who we are.
See, that's like the beautiful thing about it. You know what I mean? About this, like, I guess, like, embracing of otaku culture that's happened, like, over the past few years. like it is just us being allowed to be ourselves for like the first time ever, and it's cool. Like I enjoy like being able to come in here and talk to you about this shit and like get baked and like do a podcast or whatever and have like an audience for it that's like, yeah, these are guys that are like into the same kind of bullshit that I'm into, and that it's cool, man. Like, 20 years ago we wouldn't have been able to do this. Like, now we can.
Man, it was just it was more hidden than it was mainstream, but it's more out there. People,
I'm glad it's out there.
Are more like accepting to it, I guess, and it's brought a huge variety of people and into the whole culture. It's been interesting.
I feel like the people who don't necessarily like want it out there, like maybe I don't know. It's almost like they feel like they gotta hide something. I personally love the fact that anime and manga have got to the point where they are in the pop culture sense, Mm-hmm. I love the fact that like I really make friends with a lot of this stuff now. Like, there was definitely a time period in my life where like I hid my interests a lot more because like I'll like it, like I'll admit like I was like 14, 15 years old and I was like, oh, I gotta bag this shit up because I want to like talk to girls and shit now. You know what I'm saying? And then like I was probably like in my early 20s and I was like, oh, fuck that, man. I like love this shit. Like I don't give this up. Like. This is fun. This is like how I blow off my steam, So.
Yeah, especially whenever there's lots of characters out there that you relate to so much, and like,
yeah, man,
it's a good escape from the real world whenever you really need it, and that's why it's there.
I mean, and I feel like we're rambling on here because over the weekend. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you guys like over this weekend, like Vito and I have been hanging out. Like we've gone to a couple of shops in like some local shops around, and we found some things. We found some Evangelion related shit that we didn't know fucking existed. Okay, so
that's apparently a year old.
That's apparently a fucking year old. So Dark Horse released this thing called Pinko Middle School.
It's like Neon Genesis Evangelion, the Legend of Pico Middle School Students.
There you go.
And
that's exactly what it's called.
It's just so weird because like I don't know. It's.
I want to buy the books and just rip them apart and like use the pages for.
Dude, the chapter art's beautiful
because it's really good. But I have no idea what the fuck's going on, and we literally found this thing. Twice. Like we found we found the first one like randomly at a comic book shop, and then we found the second one randomly at like I think like Barnes and Noble or somewhere. We're just like, the fuck is this that's following us around right now?
It's just a new Evangelion series. I was trying to look for it earlier, and I found this other one where it was just like, what was it called? Damn it, I don't remember what it was called.
The Shinji Ikari project?
No, not that one. It was weird. It was like a weird medieval-looking cover.
A medieval-looking thing.
Let me look it up, man.
Okay,
it was just so weird.
Well, apparently, I mean, like, Eva coming back in the theaters, hopefully, like, really soon. Like, not really, like, soon. Like, within, like, the next, like, couple of years. I expect, like, a lot of, like, Eva-related stuff to come out, like maybe we'll get some new games, like maybe like a mobile game, like maybe a weird manga like these manga like every now and again, sort of like leading up to this movie. What I'm hoping for is we get some really, really cool fucking like Eva toys.
It's called Neon Genesis Evangelion Campus Apocalypse.
Say again.
Campus Apocalypse.
Campus Apocalypse. So Neon Genesis Evangelion Campus Apocalypse.
Yes.
What's the synopsis?
Let's see. This is really small. No. I accidentally clicked on a chapter. Okay, Shinji Ikari spends his days at the Nerve Foundation Academy, a Catholic school, in a peaceful yet bored stupor when one night, after witnessing the figures of Rei Ayanami, the object of his affection, and a boy he's never seen before running from the scene of a violent explosion, he happens to find an odd gem. Soon after, he meets the transfer student known as Kaworu Nagisa, the fleeing boy he'd seen with Ayanami, and is forcibly recruited to assist Rei, Kaworu, and Asuka Soryu Langley in fighting the Angels, being who wished to destroy the Earth because of the core he collected that night. So they're coming after Shinji. The Angels are all coming after Shinji in this book. It's weird.
All right, man. Like,
only 22 like chapters.
wait a second. I just had a thought.
Came out in 2010.
I just had a thought.
Huh.
What if? Because remember when we were talking about the Rebuild movies the other night? Like, what if because we were talking about maybe what happens, that little shift that happens. What if they go into the tangent universe? What if all of these are different, like,
universes that Shinji created from escaping the third impact?
Yeah. And they all sort of...
like it broke apart the timeline and just created something else entirely.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that would make it all really make sense that there were all these like really weird like things floating around now that have been I guess, because there has to be, like, if I know anything about Eva, man, like there has to always be a reason behind everything.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be, like, there's no reason why the studio would be like, hey, let's just, let's just produce like all these like random fucking stories that are like off the fucking wall. No, man, there's a grand. I have to believe that there's like a grander thing going on. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. It's just a thought I just had. I'm pretty stoned. Okay? But I will say that maybe, just maybe, they all connect somehow. Like all of them. And you'll see it. Like there'll be like a thing where like, it'll be like that weird effect like that's happening in like 2001. You know what I mean? Only it'll be like
at the end.
Yeah, only it'll be like, like shh. It'll be like, whoa, where'd that come from? And they'll be like, they'll have come from all these like different weird manga things that have been released.
Even the game show on the Pico Pico.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
It's just so weird.
Like, one was like fat. Like,
and it was eating hot dogs. It was just like mashing hot dogs into its face. Like, Unit 1, and they're like, Shinji's like, Unit 1, you're so fat and lazy. And I was like, the fuck am I reading right now? Like, this is odd, man. This ain't right.
I want to read it, though.
Yeah, I do. I want to read it really bad. I want to read all of them. Like, anything I can get.
Man. What are they doing?
What they're doing is they're going crazy. I mean, maybe all of it's just happening in Shinji's mind. They'll just fake us all out.
He's been in a coma since the first angel attack.
Exactly.
Since he was out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
And he got blown away. He was in the car, so whenever he got blown away in the car, that's where he got hit in the head and went into a coma. And everything that has happened, it could be...
None of that happened.
Yeah, like the third impact never actually happened. He's just been in a coma because it was actually a bad storm or something.
And then he just goes to school. Then he just goes to school. His dad's really not the like the head of Nerve. He's just like the head of like a box company or something out there. You know what I'm saying? Like get into a car. He owns a cracker factory.
He owns a paper company under Mifflin JP.
He just sit at his desk like this.
That'd be funny as shit.
That would be great, dude. Like, I would totally fucking watch that. If Evangelion was like a slice of life, I would totally watch it.
Oh, that'd be so good, dude. That'd be really fucking good.
They should really give us an Eva slice of life. I believe that would be amazing.
Or a comedy.
And I also watched Black Panther for the first time this weekend.
Oh yeah, what did you think of it? Like after watching it?
I thought that it was a Marvel movie.
Well, no shit. It is.
Like I was like, it felt very much like a Marvel movie. There were a couple of scenes that really were like Star Warsy to me. Like I was like, yep, this is a Marvel movie. It didn't have the jokes in it.
It was a very serious
that
movie.
Most Marvel films have, though.
Yeah, it was a very serious movie.
I missed that. I missed that part of the movie.
Like Ragnarok was just pure comedy all the way through.
And that's why I love Ragnarok.
That was pretty. That was good. But yeah, Black Panther was a pretty serious movie.
But as far as like the effects and the action and the way that everything was portrayed, it's almost Shakespearean at times.
What do you mean?
That was pretty cool. Like the thing, like at the end of the movie. Spoilers if you haven't seen Black Panther.
I mean, it's been out for a while now.
It's been out for a while, but I'm just saying, like I hadn't.
And it's on
seen
Netflix.
I hadn't seen Black Panther, so spoilers at the end where he like has the guy like what's his fucking name, like the bad guy, and he's like, hey, like here's the sun, it is beautiful, haha, and he's just like, we can heal you, and he's like, nah, man, like I've lived in chains, like like some of that living in chain, I don't know, man, like I was really baked when we were watching this fucking movie, and fuck, dude. That was beautiful. Like, that was a beautiful scene though, because the sun was like setting over Wakanda and shit, and like fucking guy just like pulls the fucking thing out of his chest, and he's like, ugh, and he just like fucking dies, and he dies a warrior, like he dies proud, and like I liked that. I liked that he got that because he, to me, I don't know, man. I thought he was like the most interesting character, even though I can't remember his name. To save my fucking life right now, I thought he was the most interesting character in the whole movie.
Killmonger.
Yeah, Killmonger. He was great.
Michael B. Jordan.
He did a good job.
He was recently in an HBO movie HBO did a movie for Fahrenheit 451.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in it. I haven't seen it yet. It's got him and it's got the dude from he played General Zod in Man of Steel. He was in Boardwalk Empire. He was in...
Oh, that guy. That real, like, gruff face looking dude. Looks like he's been slapped with a fish. Yeah. That guy.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
What was he saying? He's... I completely just blanked out on what I was saying.
We just have to apologize. We are like, steady smoking here, man. Like, it's...
Oh,
this is
God.
Fun. We don't know anyone's name anymore. Like, we can't, like, recall anything. We're telling, like, half stories of this. We're two old men just gabbing on the porch.
Oh, God damn it. What the fuck was I just saying? I can't believe that just happened. Anyways, that guy was in whatever I was just talking about. If I was asking you if you've seen it.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Whatever it was.
Whatever. There was something else. That happened.
Over this past couple of days? Or...
No. Oh, yeah, I started watching Violet Evergreen and... Evergarden. Why do I want to call her Evergreen?
Because it sounds better.
And I'm really high.
No, it sounds better because that's what I called it too.
Really?
Violet Evergreen.
It does sound better.
But it's Violet Evergarden.
No, okay, so we need to change that first off. Like, somebody needs to write a letter.
Yeah, but it's Violet Evergarden.
All right, Violet Evergarden. Beautiful anime.
Animation is fucking amazing. And
very
the artwork is just beautiful.
Deep story, and I can't really say much more about it than that. It's good. If you like really pretty animation and like a really weighty story, like you should watch it.
But yeah, I mean, you're only so far in. It hasn't.
Exactly. Thus far, and I think what have we got to, like season?
No,
it's season 1, but like episode.
We're on like 5 or something.
Episode 5,
5 or 6.
It's kind of been like.
It's a slow show.
It seems like a slow burn. It kind of seems like Masterpiece Theater-ish. You know what I mean? Like, if you remember that, like, if you ever watched that, like, just like fucking period dramas that they used to show on like PBS and shit. You know, like I was a weird kid, man. Like I watched weird shit. But it's kind of like what it reminds me of, and I appreciate that is the thing. But that's kind of what it's reminded me of thus far. But like, here's the thing: like, I want to know how badass she was because she seems like people fear her. And there has to be like a pretty good reason for that, right? Like,
yeah, and then that's where we kind of left off at how badass she really is.
well, I can't wait to pick it up then. That's gonna be legit.
Her background is very, very, very interesting, very good.
That's cool. Like,
But
can't wait
very
to see
sad.
that. So yeah, that's a good show. If you're looking for something to watch and you haven't picked that one up yet, like that's cool. You've shown me a lot. Like you showed me so much stuff the other day that I almost felt overwhelmed. I was like, wow, this is a lot. I was like, this is a lot to fucking take in, man. Like,
I like watching anime.
yeah. Like, I really like. I've been like the last couple of years. I've been living a lifestyle that I haven't been very used to, where I didn't get to watch a lot of anime, and I ended up just watching stuff that made me just kind of feel good. So I haven't watched a lot of new stuff. So now I'm going to watch a lot of new stuff, and you gave me a lot to like start off with. So there you go.
I gave you a shit ton of slice of life, by the way.
And I love slice of life. And just anyone out there that wants to know anything about me, fuck your shonen. I like slice of life. I'm just going to admit that right now.
It makes you feel good, man.
Dragon Ball's still really cool and all, but like fuck that. I like slice of life. Like I just want to see girls being girls.
It makes you feel good. It makes you happy, man.
It does. It does. And like when I read Dead Demons, seriously, like most of the time I forget there's an alien invasion because I'm just like, oh, what these girls up to? Like they're cool. They're just chilling.
You're just more interested in the characters.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I was gonna show you.
Does that mean we're getting old? I mean, what is that? Like
what?
when we just like slice of life more? When that becomes something that we're like really more into?
I don't know.
Because there was definitely a time in my life where I was like, if you were to tell me that I would be like into like stories just about teenage girls doing stuff that teenage girls normally do, like no like weird perverse angle or anything, just basic like they go to the fucking store, they have boyfriends, they break up, they like do the thing, they talk with their friends online, you know what I mean, like just stuff like that. I would have been like, what are you smoking, man? Like, I really love Yu Hakusho right now. Like, get off my, like, you're not on my wave, bro. You know?
Yeah. Look at you now.
And look at me now. Crying over
Fucking
manga. Like, just
reading slice of life and watching it.
afraid to turn the next page. It's kind of like you said the other night, like when you were like, yeah, just stop watching that show because I just didn't want it to end.
Oh yeah, Sakura Quest. That was that's a slice of life, and it was just so good, and it was just so good that I never watched the final episode. I never wanted it to end, and I knew it was gonna end because it was one of those shows that had just a bunch of like it was up to like 24 episodes, so it's just I couldn't finish it. I didn't want to. I still haven't seen it.
You know, I wish I had done that with a couple of shows that I've gone back and watched. Fate Zero being one of them. I wish I'd never seen the final episode of that because it's heartbreaking to me. And I'm just like, damn, man. Like, really? Then I went on to learn that there was like more stuff at that, and mostly all disappointed me pretty bad. I just like wish it could have been as good as that was, but at least I have that like one thing.
Usually isn't as good as the original.
Well, that's the thing. That wasn't the original thing. It was like based on a light novel or something, but it was just the way that
It's a visual novel, right?
Yeah. Well, Fate Zero was a light novel that was a prequel to the visual novel. It gets really fucking weird, that Type Moon shit, dude. But I just like the way the story was. Like I like the characters more. Like I just thought everybody seemed like they had more of a purpose in doing what they were doing than they did in any of the other things. And it wasn't just that you knew like what their purpose was. It was like it was very well drawn out for you. And but it was still engaging enough to where like as you're following it, like you really care about like what's going on, like you're really like into it. I remember there were parts of that when I was first watching it, man, where I was like really on the edge of my seat, like what the fuck's gonna happen now? Like this motherfucker's just a badass. Like he's got it like figured out, like Batman has shit figured out. Like he knows like what someone's gonna do, like what direction they're gonna dodge, you know, and just based on like being able to map out a strategy. And that kind of writing to me is just so interesting. Death Note was like that for me, where it's just like the author is completely putting like the pieces like game pieces on a tabletop, you know, like they're positioning them, and they're always in flux, like they're always sort of moving to like better positions or lesser positions. That's just like the coolest shit in the world, especially to read about it, you know. So like read that, like go like I actually watch the anime because it's far better than the light novel, like far better. Like the anime is like a lot of people are like, oh, Type Moon, you must, you know, like homophobic slur here or whatever. You know, there's weird people in like the otaku community that don't like Type Moon, and I get it. Like I get it, it's a little weighty and pretentious and like kind of hard to follow, and like trust me, like man, like I watched Fate Extra and I was like, this is fucking trash. Like I don't know what's going on, and no one's taking the time to explain this to me. I felt like the show was like insulting my intelligence. It was just like, oh, you don't know what's happening? Too bad, loser, because we're rolling on with this shit. And I'm like, wait, man, I have questions. Whereas like Fate Zero is just very well written.
Yeah.
You know? And this Violet Evergarden really reminds me of the weightiness and like kind of the slow burniness of that writing. So I'm down to finish the series, and then I'll let everybody know what I think. Maybe I'll make an edit based off of it or something, if I like it.
There's a lot of nice, like, I've seen a lot of fan artwork that they've done for it on Tumblr. And then a lot of people have saved, like, the stills from the episodes as it was airing in Japan. Because in Japan, it was a simulcast. And, of course, Netflix, you know, when they have the rights of something, they want to release it all at once. So you can binge it, because that's, you know, the kind of things that they do. So that's why we still haven't gotten the new actual second season of Seven Deadly Sins yet. And it's just, but anyways, it was a simulcast in Japan, so people on Tumblr were just taking a bunch of like stills from the scenes and
like screenshots.
Yeah,
just screenshotting it.
As it was airing, and it was just
beautiful.
It was badass.
I do remember seeing those like float around and seeing it and thinking that it was just absolutely gorgeous. I love like really pretty animation, like. I mean, I also love very stylized animation, but I love very like detailed and texturized animation, and it's like you don't see that a lot anymore in the anime industry, because in like I get it, like these studios, they only have so much of a budget, and they have to get these things out quickly, and they may not have the time to like or the finances to put into the animation to make it look, you know, very fluid. But you know, it was like we were talking kind of like back and forth as we were watching the first episode of that show, and I was like, look at how like the trees are just layered behind each other perfectly to create that like illusion of distance between each other as they're like passing, and like each one is different. Like they're not like using like a repetition at all. It's just little things like that, man, like show you that the medium's still very relevant and alive in the midst of all this kind of and I don't want to say crap, but like crap. Some of it's really entertaining crap. I mean, bubblegum's a cool fucking thing. Like, chew it, tastes nice. Like, but then you chew it too much and it loses its flavor. You gotta spit that shit out and like get another one. And I feel like a lot of this anime is kind of like the same way, man. It's just like you watch it, you dispose it, you spit it out. You never think about it again. And this one's not like that.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But the story, I mean, that's because the story is just so deep and there's so much detail to what actually happens to the main character.
And the animation is really just so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so well done. Like, I probably haven't seen a show look as good since probably since Fate Zero, because Fate Zero was very pretty. Like, it was very well done. And even like the CG aspects, when you go back and watch it, and it's like an older show at this point. Like, it even looks like really good. Like, that's a really good piece of work. Like, no matter how you feel about it as a fanboy or an otaku or whatever, like, that's a good piece of work. And so is this. I mean, what else can I say about it? I mean, I haven't even finished it yet, and I'm already like dick riding it like really hard. I believe another thing that we talked about recently was Kojima and like what he's gonna be up to, like in the future. And I think that would be interesting to elaborate on, because I feel like we came up with like a pretty cool little theory on what this could be
On his new Death Stranding?
On Death Stranding, yeah.
Yeah, because it was said it gives the death of the character a new perspective or something like that, right?
Death of the character, a totally new perspective is what I heard. So, let's switch gears for a minute out there, and like, let's place ourselves in this game, like how we know about it now, like everything that we know, everything that we've seen. So we're out there, we're alone, we got our little weird light thing shining, and we see the thing.
Yeah, what is that? Because like it spins around.
Yeah.
It looks like it kind of reminds me of like Ghost from Destiny.
Is it like autonomous?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or is it like, or is it being controlled by something else?
Because it's like part of his like. It looks like it's part of his like his gear on his back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just think about it though, man. You're out there, you're alone, and then this thing just creeps up on you, man, and like it pulls you down into that mire, into that muck, right? And you're down there, and like your character's down there, and it's just all black, like everything's black, right? The whole time, like maybe there's like a little loading thing going on in the corner. The next thing you know, you're in someone else's game. And now you're haunting their fucking game. Like you're in there. Like being the spectral thing that's like sort of chasing down Norman Reedus or whoever it is you're playing. Now, think about that mechanic for a second and how fucking cool it would be.
You know how bad you can fuck with people.
Exactly.
And if it was just fully all like online and
just hours of fun, like fully online, and it seems to me that it would kind of be easy. I mean, the technology's there, and Kojima would be a person to do something completely insane like that. And I mean, I just think that would be totally fucking cool. Like you're just in like cased in darkness, and then suddenly you just kind of exist in this plane, and you just your task is to go find the player and get them. And maybe that's how you redeem your life.
We also have
what I mean?
We also have to think about where the story takes you as well.
Yeah, because this is a Kojima
where
game.
does what's his face come into play? What's his name?
Hannibal, the Hannibal guy.
Yeah, Mikkelsen.
Mads
Mikkelsen or
something like that. Yeah. So
like where does his character come in? What's with his? Why is he always?
Yeah. Who is that fucking guy? Is that the Sorrow from Metal Gear? Who is he? Like.
No, like if you notice, like his last character, it was in Doctor Strange, which you haven't seen either. Mads Mikkelsen was in that. He was the bad guy in Doctor Strange. Like, well, was one of the bad guys. Like the
Doctor Strange, like from Marvel.
Yeah, yeah, he was in that, and his eyes were like he had like black shit coming out of his eyes, like he does in the trailer for this.
That's fucking awesome. Look, dude, I think that Death Stranding is going to be quite possibly the best game. The year it's released, whenever it is, and I'm willing
there's
to
a
wait.
Release date for it, huh?
I'm willing to wait as long as it takes to play
just
that game, because it's Kojima, man. Like, why would I be impatient with anything that he, with anything that he's like willing to produce? That man's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like, fuck everything else. Like, that guy, like, I want to live long enough for Hideaki Anno and Hideo Kojima to like make something together.
That'd be amazing.
Could you imagine? My heart's racing right now, just like thinking about this. But can you imagine an EVA model designed by the guy who designed like all the Metal Gear stuff, like Yoji? What was his name? I'm really sorry to anyone that I'm trying to like remember your name right now, because I can't. I just fucking can't. Yeah, I'm sure somebody out there knows. Like, maybe they'll pop up in the comments or something. But God, could you imagine a fucking EVA design by that guy? Or could you imagine like a Metal Gear EVA hybrid thing? Because they did that with they did a Godzilla figure that was based on an Evangelion, like an EVA unit that was drawn, that was based on a design by that specific artist. And I want that figure really fucking bad.
But that was a limited run on that figure.
Yeah, that was a totally limited run on that figure. It was like this crazy Evangelion Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, it was badass. I remember seeing it.
It was fucking tight as shit, man. Like, and we were talking like last night, like Godzilla was my thing. Like, dude, I still get like a big hard on for Godzilla. Like, anytime, like I'm excited for King of the Monsters right now. Like I'm trying like not to be that guy. Like I'm trying like really hard not to be like, look at somebody and be like, hey, I'm really fucking excited about King of the Monsters. Like, cause that's really what I want to do. You know what I mean? Cause like, fuck you. Like, I don't care. Like, fuck off. Like, let's not be pretentious for 5 minutes. Let's all be 10 years old. Let's all go back to when we were 10. We're going to be sitting in a movie theater with a big budget fucking movie where you're going to have King Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan and Godzilla in the same motherfucking movie, and they're going to fight. They're going to fight, bro. They're going to... Oh, I'm getting... Dude,
Are they going to do all of them?
They're doing all of them. They're all going to be in the movie, man. Have you seen the trailer?
No, I've only seen like a teaser trailer.
Watch the fucking trailer. The trailer is tight. Like turn that shit on, man. Because, I mean, it's going to be... Dude, this movie could be so fucking lit. Like, if they do this right, like... it could be the best thing literally ever. I'm telling you what. Boy, I'll tell you what.
That was released a month ago?
Yeah.
Or the second one?
I think it's the first one. It's the one with the kid from Stranger Things, that girl.
Oh, yeah, because she's going to be in it.
Yeah, she's going to be in it.
Let's see this
Check this shit out. Check this shit out. This is so fucking good. But we're watching the Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer, so you guys just sit tight for a second.
Yeah, I haven't seen... I don't think I ever saw the full trailer. Ice Cube's son is in this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, look, just...
Oh, shit.
Right?
That was cool.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's just what. But I'm curious on what she has to do with all that.
Those look like the real Godzilla spikes too.
Mm-hmm. I like.
Look at Mothra.
That's so badass.
I can't wait till next summer, bro.
I like this Godzilla because he's kind of chubby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's tough.
Yeah.
He's a scrapper. This one.
God, I can't believe they're gonna throw all of them in there.
Yeah, man. In the second movie, they're building the MonsterVerse, and I like it. I like this idea. Like, look at that. Look at America just laid to waste by Rodan. Like, it's just gonna be really cool. Like, look how he's like on fire. Like he's almost like made out of the volcano itself. You know. Old dude from Game of Thrones is in there. Like, what's his name?
Tywin Lannister.
Old Tywin Lannister in this bitch.
Damn,
So what do you think?
Really fucking good.
What
man.
do you think of the Godzilla?
Next May, dude. That looks good as shit.
Doesn't it look awesome?
Hell yeah.
Fucking like all you had to show me was King Ghidorah, man, and like that was it. Like my inner 10-year-old just took over and was like, oh fuck.
Hell
like,
yeah.
I have to see this. Do you remember? Did you ever watch like any of like the old Showa Godzilla movies?
Probably like a long time ago as a kid.
Like the ones like from the 60s and the 70s.
No,
Man,
I don't think so.
Those were so fucking wacky. And
Really?
like those were like the original ones that I saw, like, you know, growing up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And man, like to see it taken like a little bit seriously, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, I can't fucking wait to like I've been waiting my whole life to see like these monsters just fucking slamming in, dude. Like this is gonna be fucking beautiful. Potentially. It could suck, I guess.
I don't think it's gonna suck, but people always have to have their negative opinions on new movies that are being released out here recently, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, we live in a fucking world where like you can't go and enjoy a Star Wars movie without it being like fucking you're like committing heresy or something.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I get it. Like there's some things in these new Star Wars films that I probably wouldn't have done if I were the one writing it, but you know what? I'm not the one writing it. That's not my job. You know what I'm saying? Like they got other people doing that. It's not me. Like, how am I gonna be fucking mad?
But I mean, just be fucking happy that we're getting new Star Wars.
Yeah, there's like new Star Wars movies. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever, dude. Like, you show me like Mark Hamill farting on a snare drum for a fucking hour and a half, and I'd fucking watch it. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Solo. You know what? All right. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Solo. It was an all right movie.
Yeah.
It was an all right movie. It was an all right action movie. It was a pretty cool little caper movie. Had a little reveal at the end. You know what I'm saying? It was all right. It wasn't as bad as people have made it out to be. And that's like what I get real pissed off about these films is like you're holding it up to some sort of fucking like let me tell you something. George Lucas doesn't do these films anymore, y'all. Like he doesn't. These movies are literally controlled by like a huge board of people. Like there are so many hands in these fucking cookie jars. Like and they change and they rewrite and they recast and they fucking like change directors 15 fucking times. And because there's so many fucking hands in the cookie jar, do I think that's how films should be made? No, not necessarily. But it's kind of like you said, we're getting Star Wars films. Like Disney's actually doing something with this property. And I like that. I went to Disney World a couple of months ago down in Orlando, Florida. It's where my brother lives. Love you, Blake. And I saw like a little presentation about the Star Wars land thing, like the Star Wars world. Dude, it's gonna be off the fucking hook. Like it's gonna be fucking mad cool, bro. Like they're gonna have everything. Apparently, you're gonna be able to like to create a character and live in the Star Wars universe, be in that character.
Oh, dude, I can only imagine what like the hotel is gonna be in Star Wars land.
I mean, I'm down. Like, I'm gonna
like a
go.
Tatooine, like a Tatooine-based hotel.
I'm
Everything's built out
saving
of
my
stone.
money. I'm saving my money right now, G. Like, it's going down. Like, I'm gonna be like, it's like I told you the other night. I'm just gonna be Lando Calrissian. Like, basically, that's who I'm gonna be. Because that's who I would be in the Star Wars universe. I would be that guy. I'd play cards, you know. I'd gamble for starships.
I don't know who I would be. I don't know, like
Maybe I'd do some things for the Empire. Maybe I'd do some things for the Rebels. Hey,
right.
I'm a loose cannon. I'm a wild card, baby. You know, you won't pin me down.
All I think about is just It's Always Sunny, Charlie with his wild card.
Wild card, baby. Whoa!
Yeah, man. Oh, dude. Yeah, it's good. It's good that they're doing things with Star Wars, and you know we're getting new shit, and it's sad that people just can't appreciate the fact that we're getting new Star Wars, and even if it's not the stories that they want, just appreciate that we're getting new shit. Just like Disney's about to fucking go ham with all the shit that they just bought from Fox, so like you're possibly about to get new X-Men movies. I mean,
X-Men movies that exist in the existing Marvel universe would be so refreshing to the Marvel universe.
Like you can do Secret Wars, dude.
Do you know what Spider-Man: Homecoming taught me about the existing Marvel universe? It needs teenagers who are funny and have problems. Because I don't know, for me, like growing up,
and they actually used somebody who was like, he looked like a teenager.
Like growing
was
up,
the age and shit.
Growing up as a kid reading Marvel, I always like went to the books that were about the kids or the characters that seemed to have like the most like kind of like personal issues, like Peter Parker, for example, favorite Western comic book character of all time because he's such a flawed human being. Like, and he is. Like, he's lovable, sure. Like, he's, like, quippy, yeah. But he's also very flawed. He's, like, very unsure of himself. He's, like, he's us. Like, he's, like, the nerdy, kind of, like, obsessive guy that just sort of happened to, like, get bit by a radioactive spider and got, like, all this power. And it's the same reason why I really enjoyed X-Men growing up. And these Fox films that they've released, I mean, yeah, Logan was cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't come at me. Like, don't at me with this shit, y'all. Like, Logan was cool. But for whatever reason, the Fox X-Men movies always left a weird taste in my mouth. Like they shouldn't be the way that they are necessarily. Maybe with some of the casting, sometimes maybe with some of the narratives of the story. I don't know. All I know is I was a big reader of X-Men growing up, and I didn't necessarily like, especially like that third X-Men movie, like that was total fucking
Last
shit.
Stand.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that was shit. Like that was a shitty movie. I hate that movie. But just growing up as a fan, man, like as a kid and watching like the X-Men cartoon and reading like the X-Men like comic books and stuff, like I felt like I knew these characters and I felt like I never really got, with the exception of maybe Wolverine Logan, ever got a real fair comic book interpretation of who these characters were to me. And I really hope that Marvel fixes that for fans like me who want to see, like, I want to see Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Iceman, and the Beast, you know, on a team together first before we ever bring Wolverine in. Like, let's wait 10 years to bring a Wolverine in. I don't give a shit. Like, I want to see an X-Men movie with them as teenagers learning their powers. I know we kind of saw that in, like, the X-Men Last Stand fucking weird pseudo trilogy thing that they tried to do there toward the fucking end. You know,
Which
with
one?
like with the Last Stand and what was it?
Well, the Last Stand was X-Men 3.
Where they went.
Are you talking about like Days of Future Past and the?
Yeah, the first class.
Yeah, the first class.
The first class one, in the Days of Future Past, and then like weird like quasi.
Yeah, well, Days
thing.
of Future Past essentially reset that entire universe, and everything went back to normal. which is weird. And then,
Which is
and then they
weird.
never talk about it again.
And they never talk about it again. And they kind of did the
and then
thing.
in Logan, they're all dead.
They had like Jean Grey, you know, I think in the one that was set in the 80s, whatever one that
Well,
was.
that was I believe that was First Class. No, that was there because they had Apocalypse too.
That was Apocalypse. That was the Apocalypse one. That was the Apocalypse one. Okay, so in the Apocalypse one, they did the
Apocalypse.
They did the original kind of class from the comics, like the original team, like the
Apocalypse looked ridiculous.
Yes, he did. And see, that was why were they fighting Apocalypse, man? Like they should have been fighting like the Mole Man or whatever, because that was like the first. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, I want to see. Okay, look. It's not hard. Disney could do it. Like, Disney could pull it off. They could get some really cute kids in there, some actual teenagers to play these characters and to have a really fun fucking X-Men movie that's in the same vein of Spider-Man Homecoming. And Spider-Man, finally, because one of my favorite things ever about reading X-Men as a kid was Spider-Man would always show up. Like he would show up in the X-Men all the time, and it was awesome. You could have Spider-Man show up in an X-Men in an X-Men movie, and my God, I'm hard right now.
Yeah, I mean that'd be badass because
shit.
And like you know they already put him in the Avengers, so why not bring some of the X-Men that were part of the Avengers, like the original Avengers? And
yeah.
Wolverine was an Avenger.
He was an Avenger. He was part of the new Avengers, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he tore it up. It was great. You know, when Marvel freaking does it, when Marvel does bring in like the next Wolverine, do it right, dude. Have an entire, maybe not a movie, but definitely throw it into some sort of movie where you have the Hulk and Wolverine fighting like a rabid Wolverine, like out in the wilds of Canada, and the Hulk's just out there doing whatever it is the Hulk does, because you know he's
Bruce Banner out hiding, and he just got stuck in Hulk mode again.
Mm-hmm. And like he just runs up on a rabid Wolverine, and that's the first time we ever see Wolverine. Like that's the first time we ever see him. And maybe it's like a 30-second thing at the end of one of the movies or something, you know, like maybe like an extended like after credit scene or whatever. Dude, that would be fucking dope Wolverine as shit. Hulk. That would be dope as shit, man. Like I would fucking love that. So yeah, I'm super fucking happy that Marvel bought that shit.
Yeah, but who would they use for Wolverine?
Well, that's the question, right? Like that's the $1 million question. Who do they use for Wolverine now that Hugh Jackman's? Maybe your listeners should answer that. Like
who would they use for Wolverine?
Question,
if they did a new X-Men, who would Disney pick for the new Wolverine, for the new Logan? You should give us that answer. What do you think at KOH Podcast on Twitter? And then to the people that are listening to their live,
and if you're one of the two people watching the live feed, who would Disney cast as the next Wolverine? Because it can't be Hugh Jackman. Who would it be? Who would you have? Don't all answer at once or anything.
Whoa, you're going too fast.
You're going a little too fast. That chat better slow down now. Like it's crazy.
But dude, imagine that, man. Imagine you can finally get like a new Avengers, since essentially the first Avengers are, you know, coming to an end. They can finally do.
I just got really fucking stoked.
And then they could possibly do like Secret Wars and shit like that.
If they do Secret Wars, I'm out of here.
You get to see Peter Parker in a symbiote Spider-Man suit.
Dude, and he would be the perfect age too to like do that, because Peter Parker was like kind of like in like his early mid-20s. Dude,
hey, is the Venom movie anything a part of the MCU, or is it just a standalone solo?
This is where those movies get really fucking confusing.
Okay, so it's a solo, it's standalone.
So this is like I was watching this YouTube video the other night about that, and apparently, okay, and so get this, apparently, the the fucking thing that Fox is trying to do now is they're trying to make a Spider-Man universe. Only, and this is very important, they're not allowed to use Spider-Man.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So they're trying to like do all these movies about all these Spider-Man characters. They've got old Jared Leto. They're trying to talk to him into doing a Morbius film. After the come up after this Venom movie that they're doing, that they finished, this thing that we know. Can we just go ahead and say it's probably going to be really fucking bad?
Yeah.
Like,
Why though? Why would they even want to do that?
No. It gets worse. It gets worse. They want to do a Black Cat in Silver Sable film.
That sounds cool though.
But that would be like, okay, if it was in the Marvel universe where they had Shield and they were coming in as kind of like Shield-like agents,
yeah, that'd
like,
be cool.
That would be a lot cooler than, because who the fuck? Okay, all right, who the fuck is gonna watch a fucking Spider-Man villain movie without fucking Spider-Man anywhere in the universe? Like, he's never gonna like have contact with any of these other characters.
He'll be an Easter egg. You'll see him on a poster somewhere, or in the newspaper
like
stand, or
and Disney will let him have it, because ever since Disney got the rights to that, they're like, no, fuck you, man. We're not honoring that bogus treaty. Like, fuck off. Like, we got Spider-Man, dude. Like, we're gonna do whatever. Notice, like, they got him. They got Spider-Man. And they did a movie with him, and in the very next movie, in the very next movie, they just like sort of let him float away into nothing. They killed
him. They killed him. They used him for 3 movies, and they killed him.
I feel like that was Disney going, yeah, we can do that. You know,
he's gonna come back.
Like, well, of course he's gonna come back, but like they're like, yeah, we can do that. Like, we can just take him. You guys can never do that.
Have you seen the pictures of Captain Marvel that they released? They've released it.
Mm-mm.
They've released.
We talking Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Ooh. Let's see.
Let me see if I can. Oop. You're not supposed to hear that. See if I can find it here. On the old Twitter.
On the old twit. On the old twiddly doo.
All right. It looks badass, dude. And then the villain.
Well, of course it does. I mean, like, dude, Captain Marvel, probably hands down, like, my favorite, like, super powered, like, superhero. Like, she's cool. She's bitching. I think I just like girls. So.
Like, check this out. There's 3 pictures. There's a picture of Carol Danvers, Nick Fury, and then the Scrums, or the Skrulls, whatever they're called. I forgot what they're called.
Oh, the Skrulls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet. Dude, she looks so fucking boss, too.
And that movie's supposed to take place in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Because at the end of Infinity War, here's more.
Tag's messaging
Here.
me. Let's see what he's saying.
There's 4 pictures in that one.
Oh, that looks cool.
Anyways, and what's his face from the first villain from Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be in this one, since it's in the past. Ronan, that guy.
Oh, that motherfucker?
Yeah, he's gonna be in Captain Marvel.
I'm not scared of him. He couldn't even survive a dance off. Like, I'm really just like not impressed by that guy.
But it looks good, and I don't know when that movie's coming out, but I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Really good.
And I guess to wrap up the movie talk, I was kind of talking to you the other night about the Metal Gear Solid film.
Yeah, that's supposedly happening.
That's happening. Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the thing. It's a little confusing, but from what I understand, the guy. Oh, God. Okay. Like, this has got to stop. Like, someone needs to be here to like Google for us or something.
Yeah, what that guy's name is.
This is crazy. But he was the guy that directed Kong Skull Island.
Uh-huh.
And he is directing Metal Gear Solid, the film. And Hideo Kojima is supposedly involved with the making of this film. And he is going to supposedly throw a bunch
Jordan Vaught Roberts?
Yes, Jordan Vaught Roberts. And it's supposed to be very fan servicey. And I'm excited as a fan of Metal Gear. I take that back. As an extremely huge fan of Metal Gear, I welcome this project with open arms, and I hope that it allows something to happen with the property.
Well, it's still rumored that he's gonna direct it. It's not.
Set in stone yet.
No,
that
it's
really.
still
I
rumored.
hope it happens, man.
It's still rumored. I just pulled it up on I pulled up his IMDb and then.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
It's just rumored.
It wouldn't surprise me if Konami.
I never
pulled the
saw
plug.
Kong Skull Island. Was it good?
It was good. It was good. I watched it purely because I had heard this guy might be involved with a Metal Gear Solid film, and I wanted to see a piece of his work.
And see how it was.
Mm-hmm. And
Impressed you?
It was all right. It was all right. Like, I feel
It
if
was Kong Skull Island.
it was about, it was set in the MonsterVerse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because King Kong is in there.
Yeah, because goddamn, they're supposed to eventually cross over.
Mm-hmm. There'll be a King Kong versus Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Again.
Yeah.
Which
God,
would be
did you ever see the
pretty
original?
fucking cool.
Never seen the original King Kong versus Godzilla? God, we should watch that. You should just brew a pot of coffee and watch that fucking movie. It's so good. I mean, it's terrible, but it's so good.
It's terribly
It's
good.
highly racist. There's a living octopus in the movie.
No shit.
It fights King Kong. King Kong being a guy in a very bad
King Kong's.
bad suit. Like, it's terrible. Like, you know, the ingenuity of the post-World War II Japanese was just something fucking else, man. And, like, those old Showa, like, era movies, especially the monster films, took so much imagination.
Mm-hmm.
They also took so much liberty with shit. Like, that motherfucker, just pull him up. Like, look at him. He looks nothing like how an ape should look. Like, nothing. But you have to kind of stand in awe of it. It's definitely one of the more popular films from the Showa era, also.
That?
Yeah, look at that thing. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. What does that look like to you? Doesn't look like a fucking monkey. It's nuts. Look at that thing. Just look at it.
It's hideous.
Look at it, man. That was in a movie.
Oh, it's hideous.
Isn't it great?
I guess that's the Kong from Skull Island.
Mm-hmm. King Kong versus Godzilla kids.
Look at that shit.
I mean, look at him. He looks like he's taking a shit. Just...
Oh my god.
It's fucking crazy. And... I mean, but like I said, you just have to stand in awe, right? Like, I mean, god damn, man. They really took a lot of liberties with that movie. But it was a very popular film when it was released. Oh, geez.
You did see this string is on King Kong.
Well, they're hoisting him. They're hoisting him by helicopters.
Oh, okay.
See, they got
by
balloons. Yeah, they're carrying him by big ass balloons. Now he's waking up. Oh shit! Now he's fucking waking up. You got King Kong. Oh god. You got King Kong fucking waking up. Oh Jesus Christ! He's freeing himself from the balloons.
Eventually,
yeah. He was gotta.
He did it.
Yeah.
It must have hurt.
Now he's sliding. That has to hurt you nuts. Oh.
Jesus, man.
Yeah,
old movies are the best.
They really are.
The practical
I'm going
effects.
away, sir.
You know, the practical effects. And this is the final fight in the movie.
Yeah, look at him monkey walk. Look at a monkey walk over those buildings.
He's walking like a regular person.
His fucking. Look at it, how ridiculously long his arms are. I mean.
Oh my god, man.
That's just fucking so great. Oh,
That is too good.
yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying this, man. Cause
Like that's too good.
This is fucking awful. Oh god.
Damn, like I wonder if since they're doing all like the monsterverse again with Godzilla. I wonder if they'll do like a Mecha Godzilla.
Oh god, yeah. They're gonna have to, man. I mean, Mechagodzilla is like part of the thing. Like it's fucking real key.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, you got Godzilla. How you gonna fight him? Well, you're gonna have to build a Mechagodzilla, idiot. Like that's how it goes. Giant robots always fight the kaiju.
Yep.
It's part of it. So it's like, and that's the thing that I can like really respect about these like new kaiju films, is the fact that they take a lot of these tropes, they use them because they know like that's what it is, and like, yeah, man, like eventually there's gonna have to be a mech. I mean, I don't want it to be all Pacific Rim though, because that shit was god awful.
That was too sci-fi ish.
I want it to just be a mech, man. Just
Yeah.
like,
I don't. Well, in Pacific Rim, you needed like 2 or 3 people to operate the mech, right?
yeah,
And it's not just one single person operating
yeah,
a mech,
yeah.
like how it traditionally one person operates a mech.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was kind of like too sci-fi-ish. It was
I mean-
just like one person operates the arm, where the other person is the legs. Like it was just.
And then it's like Darling in the Franxx kind of took that idea and made it really sexy.
How?
Because had 2 people had to pilot the damn thing, and like, you know, the girl had to get down and the dude had to like get up behind her, and it just looked really sexual.
In the manga, whenever like okay, so you remember in the show whenever they first got in and they synced together, it looks
Yeah.
like they were like freaking out and like spazzing. So in the manga, whenever what they do is whenever they that happens, they actually like it shows them naked, just like freaking out and like practically orgasming, and because they're
Nice.
syncing together, and it was just purposely made to it was purposely done in like them naked for that. It was just because they're kids, so it's like it's weird, you know,
It is weird.
because they're kids and yeah.
Very strange show.
But I mean, it was I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was
There were definitely parts of it that I like. The fact that it's Studio Trigger did the animation.
But
It's
the guy that
great.
actually created that show also worked on the rebuilds, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So he was just too inspired and used too many references from that to create Darling in the Franxx. And I mean, I think the best part of that was just the children figuring out what their lives really are and what their life should be, rather than piloting these fucking the Franks, you know. It's just
These city smashing robots.
yeah.
We're always talking about mechs. Every time we get together. Can't fucking help it.
Yeah, mechs are awesome.
Mechs are awesome.
But I mean, like once they figure out that like what it's actually like to live as a normal human being, and that like they can actually create life together, and like even one of their characters ends up getting pregnant, and like it was just they eventually just rebuilt their own society towards the end of the series, while the hero, who his name is Hito, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while Hito was out in space with 02, fighting weird things in a weird 02 wedding gown robot, which
It's pure Studio Trigger, man.
was just so just weird.
Strange.
But I didn't really care for the ending for Darling in the Franxx. But the development of the children throughout the show was really interesting, especially whenever they were basically just being kids,
Mm-hmm.
trying to live and just be kids. Those were the best episodes.
I do, but those are those, like, we go back to the slice of life thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what we like, obviously.
But yeah, Frank's could have been better. It could have been better. It could have ended better.
I prefer Little Witch Academia. Don't at me.
I still need to finish it.
It's good. It's so cute. But like, here I am, I'm an old man at that point in my life where I'm like, I just want to watch cute stuff. I just want to digest cute things.
You need to watch Cells at Work from the beginning.
That was so sweet.
That's a really good one.
That was such a good one, man.
And then what other one did I show you? Oh, Love is a Cocktail.
Love is a Cocktail.
Like that was those anime shorts are really good.
That was beautiful. I mean, I've enjoyed the last couple of days, man. I mean, it's been sweet. Like, we've just been hanging out, like doing stuff, and talking, introducing me to anime, and like I'm out of here in like less than 24 hours now. So
yeah,
this is a nice send off. So it's cool.
Yeah, and then you're back home
I'm back
tomorrow
home
night.
in Atlanta tomorrow night. So if any of you guys are in Atlanta, maybe you'll see me hanging out in places that I'm not gonna name because.
If you know what he looks like, I mean, he's live.
Well, I mean, I'm on the live right now, and I'm
now.
pretty sure my face has been on there a couple of times.
Well, yeah.
I just blend into a crowd, man. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah, man, and I'm really I'm looking forward to a lot of your new stuff and a lot of your new work that you're going to be working on for these shows and.
Well, I mean, I just feel like I keep refining the same thing that I've been doing. But that being said, I want, as the next year comes into play, to kind of get into like doing more things that I used to do before I started doing this kind of stuff. Not that I'm going to stop doing this kind of stuff at all. If this kind of stuff is your thing, you're still going to get it. You're still going to get as much of it as you've ever gotten before. But I want to throw some more things under my umbrella because I feel like I could do so much more than just Photoshops. And I want to do toys again, like bootleg toys. I've been talking about the Suck Lord a lot lately, and that like really got me into like thinking about that time in my life when I like was hanging out around that crew of people and sort of like doing that sort of thing, and how much fun I had like coming up with like these twisted variants of like Star Wars characters or like whatever that I was into.
Oh, I mean, you're in the designer world, man.
Man.
You're in that the designer toy scene, which it's out there.
Yeah, it should be pretty. It should be pretty. It should be pretty neat. Like I've already got a couple of things that I'd like to do, but at the same time, I don't want it to take away from where I'm going. I just, like I said, I just want to like add more to like the, you know what I'm saying, like more things that are just like associated with my name, like my brand or like whatever you want to call it. But I think that would be like an easy thing for me to get back into because I already have like a real passion for it. And y'all already get like my fandom for anime and manga. Like y'all understand that I'm very otaku about those specific things, but like y'all don't really nothing about my love of like old sci-fi, of old like 70s and 80s like fucking like blaxploitation and like action movies and like kung fu movies and like Godzilla films. And I feel like with figures, especially like bootlegs and stuff like that, like I can really bring that into the fold for y'all too and let y'all see like how I interpret some of that shit. Because I like a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people, I feel like I've done a pretty good job casting myself as this person who's really into like anime and manga, but I'm into so many other things at the same time. Like I'm into, you know, like old action figures and like Japanese monster films and
Yeah.
wrestling, dude. Like I'm like one of the biggest fans of wrestling that you're ever gonna meet. Like it's stupid, especially like '80s wrestling. Like that was like the shit. Like go back and watch like old '80s wrestling on YouTube, and you'll have like the best night of your fucking life. This shit's ridiculous.
That's when wrestling was good.
And I love cars and I love robots and like I love learning stuff. So in film, and I'd like to eventually bring all that under the umbrella, but I believe like slowly is the best way, and I believe the next logical thing for me to kind of throw under there is going to be doing like bootleg figures, like going back into that medium and seeing what I can do with
Start
it.
doing with like resin figures and shit.
Yeah. Like maybe come up with like my own kaiju and shit like
Oh,
that.
that'd be badass.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, that'd be really badass.
Yeah.
Or do like a bootleg Godzilla, just give
Yeah.
him some like funky looking eyes, or his spikes are different. Instead of his spikes being like jaggedy, they're like horns that stick out from the back that curve in a certain direction.
Would be cool. That would be
Or,
pretty cool.
I don't know.
Or you could like make little like you could somehow blend like those old Precious Moments figures with kaiju in some way.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like cut one off at like the waist and like give them a bunch of like weird tentacles and like make it like fuck its own mouth or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be fucking cool as fuck.
Oh, that'd be demented as sure. But I would love to see that, because those Precious Moment figures are already kind of fucking creepy, man.
Right? Like,
so why not make them even more creepy?
and that's what I mean. Like my whole sort of mission as an artist has always been to just take what's already out there and then make something with it. Take bits of this and take bits of that and like put it together. And that's why I always loved that medium to begin with. And when I met the Sucklord, man, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Like taking like some like perverse fucking idea in like an '80s action figure packaging aesthetic and putting them together to like make a product. Like I thought that was like a dope fucking idea. You know what I mean? That ever since then, like that has been like something that has inspired me, like for my entire artistic career. Like that's in doing it yourself too. Like I know a lot of people out there on the internet who maybe do something similar to me, or like they do their own designs or like whatever. It's like they're just waiting around for like somebody to fucking plug them their shit. You know, they're like not going out there and like making those connections themselves and like doing it the fuck up. You know what I mean? And it's like you ain't gonna get anywhere just like making edits and like posting them on the internet and like sitting in your house like waiting for somebody to see it. Like you gotta go out there and you gotta go make friends. And if you like want to make it as an artist, you gotta do like you gotta network, man. Like you gotta like sort of show people like where you're at, like what you're doing. And that's really more than anything to answer your initial question. Like what I'm gonna be doing within the next year is I'm gonna be working on new ways to express the things that I love, on top of like really busting my ass, like trying to like get these things in as many gallery spaces, shows, art events, fucking sides of buildings, whatever I gotta do that I fucking can, you know. And here is where like anyone can fucking help, you know. If you want in on this, like all you have to do is like hit me up at my Tumblr, ODO Art. Just Google it. Fucking my Tumblr will be like literally the first thing that comes up. Message me on there. I'll send you a PNG file of any piece that of mine that you might like, and you can take it and do whatever the fuck you want with it. Like I won't charge you. I can't charge you for a file. That would be weird. That'd be mean. There's people that do, but not me. Like take it, throw it up on a wall somewhere. Do me a favor. Let's have a revolution with this shit. I mean, we seriously can. Like, if we want to. Like, we could literally put anime everywhere. Like, all over the world. And you can be just as much a part of this as I am. You know? you can be Audio too if you want to be.
Audio worldwide.
Yeah, man.
Just spread it around everywhere, man.
I think that would be the answer to my prayers.
When you go to Tokyo in December,
I am going to Tokyo in December.
You should take some prints with you, but make them thin enough to be able to wheat paste wherever you go. Like take them, try to find, like say like when the ones that you've taken that of like pictures of like certain streets in Japan. If you find them, put them out there or something like that on that street.
Oh man, that would be so fun. Like I've kind of always wanted to do that.
You know,
Do
that shit. That'd be amazing, dude.
I think stickers are like really the way to go. Like just big, just stickers, just stick them on. Son.
Mm-hmm.
They may not last as long as wheat paste, but a vinyl sticker, man, like that. But then it would be like, how am I gonna get those things? I could FedEx them to it. I could FedEx them to a friend's house, and they could just give them to me.
In Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you could take them with you. Take a couple hundred with you in your suitcase. When you travel with your suitcase, put them all in your suitcase, man, and just
just tag them everywhere.
Yeah, dude. Whenever I used to make stickers, man, I always carried at least like 60 to 70 stickers everywhere I went. Anytime I'd go out, I would always have a big old thick stack of stickers in my back pocket, and I would just grab the first one on top anywhere I would go, I'd peel it, put it there, and walk off, man. I just always got to be equipped with the materials that you need, man. You just got to have ammunition.
Well, I mean, you're totally right about that. Like, you're totally right about that. And the thing about it is like, if I were to ever get an art show in Tokyo, like I could, you could just take me out behind the fucking building and shoot me, like as after, and I would be like happier than anything in the world. Like there would be no topping that at anything in my life. Like that's the goal, right? To take what I love back to where it came from and show the Japanese otaku what this American otaku, how they have perceived and like filtered this thing that they love. How they've inspired
the Western otaku culture.
And just to like sort of bring it all back home like that would be something else. And I would like want to make it a production. Like I would want to film it. Like I would want to make it like a documentary.
Man. Like your trip to your art show in Japan.
And that would just be, it would be lit.
Like the month-long trip that you would take.
We would have to like get in touch with Vice or something and be like, look, you're gonna have to follow this dude to fucking Tokyo and let him and like film it, because this is gonna be some shit. It's gonna be lit as fuck. Like
make giant stickers and just go out at night and put them in places, put them in really good spots where people could see,
and just make it, because the whole thing about audio is like, well, there's the main thing is being able to connect with people, of course, like I've said this a million times, like through the things that we love, anime, art, photography, the things that I creatively find like really cool. And also for me personally, and maybe some people have figured this out and maybe they haven't, but audio is a form of repetition. Like it's meant to be subversive. Like the name audio itself is meant to be of a subversive nature because it means hate. And like my pieces, they are all supposed to have like a repetitive nature, where it is supposed to remind you, the viewer, of like advertising. Like this is advertising. Like this is what advertising is, and that's why I'll release things at almost like an ad nauseum pace, because like I want it to be just like that Nike ad or that Coke ad or that meme or whatever. Like I want it to like be like a never-ending flow for you, the viewer, to see and to partake in. But the only thing is, I'm not really trying to sell you anything. Like at all. Like, yeah, if you come to an art show, you can buy a fucking piece from me, but I'm not trying to sell you anything. Like, I don't care if you buy that shit from me or not. If you don't buy it from me, I'm probably just gonna give it away to somebody. Like, I got money. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just do this shit because I like it. And I like people. And it's a good way to connect with people. But nah, man. Like, it's almost like I want audio to be like this anti-advertising, like this super subversive thing that's like also kind of like subverts art in general, because at the end of the day, I'm taking these different things made by these different people and putting them together and slapping hate on it and putting it in front of your face like 3 or 4 times a week. So I mean, you can take that however you want it, but it's meant to be subversive. It's meant to sort of make fun of the culture that we live in, where we see these things, sometimes beautiful things, sometimes horrible things, repeatedly, like over and over again. And I kind of stole that whole angle from like people like Andy Warhol, maybe a little bit from Banksy too, artists like that. But
no, I didn't necessarily steal it. It's what inspired you, really.
it's just how I feel about things too, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think that most things are just bullshit. Like, if you can't tell that we're being like treated like fucking cattle, then you're kind of blind, bro. Like,
Yeah.
the like Western culture is just sort of vile like that. I'm just trying to give you something pretty that might brighten your day, and at the same time not sell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't really have a lot of product to sell you. Like, you can go buy a couple of shirts from me right now, but if you know, I'm going to take that shit down in a couple of weeks, because I'm just giving you an opportunity to buy a shirt if you want one. Like, I'm making 10 fucking cents off of each one of those motherfuckers. Like, I ain't making shit off that. I don't have to. People ask me for stuff like that, and I try to provide it to them, you know, and I try to give them something different. Someone asked me, they were like, why are your shirt designs like so wildly different from everything else you do? And I'm like, one, the more minimal your clothing design is, the better it's probably going to look, you know, blown up like that. And two, I want it to be set apart from everything else that I do. You know what I mean? I want it to be like, oh, well, he made that, but that's obviously part of like the clothing brand or whatever. Mm-hmm. I say clothing brand, like, there's probably by the end of this, there'll probably be like maybe 3 of these in existence, and 2 of them will be bought by me. You know, because it's not like I really even go out of my way to advertise anything or anything. Like, I really don't give a shit. Like, I really don't care about that part of it. Like, I'm just trying to get my art seen by people.
Yeah.
I don't care if I sell anything or not. You know, I ain't even about that life. I mean, it would be really cool if I did. Like, I just find it really weird, man. Like, I got an art piece in the show right now, you know, and like, if someone buys that, like, that money will go right back into like making more art. It would just go into like buying ink or like saving up to buy a new printer. And I really would probably should like start like a, you know, well, I guess most people would start like a Patreon for something like that. But y'all, like, I'm serious, man. Like, I'm okay. Like, I ain't trying to let y'all know a lot about me, but I'm like financially, I'm like more than fucking fine. Like, I can just go out and buy another printer when I get in Atlanta, like first fucking thing, and like be right back on track from where I was. I guess I should add a little context. The reason why I'm moving from Houston is I broke up with my girlfriend. Easy shit to get over. Like, it, yeah, well, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like kind of a rough thing, but like, and I had to leave some of my shit behind, and it was just kind of volatile. But anyway, long story short, broke up with my girlfriend, got to move back to Atlanta, so I'm going to have to like replace a few things. And the printer is definitely going to be one of those things I got to replace.
Shit happens, man.
Shit does happen, man. And like, I don't know, if you ever break up with your girlfriend, just don't have things like printers lying around their house. Like,
because that shit's expensive.
Because that shit's is fucking expensive. It's gonna be like $900 to get a new one. It's gonna fucking suck. But
how much would it be to actually ship it back to you, back to yourself?
Bro, it probably doesn't even exist anymore. Like, let's be real. Like,
you got a point. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Man, that shit's it's been a wild ride, dude. It's you know, it's been real, and it's time for you to finally go back home where you belong and go back to creating what you love creating.
I'm glad that you say back home where I belong, because I'm just gonna go on record right now, because I'm sure you got a lot of people that live in this town that listen to you. I love this city. Like, this city is really trill as fuck. Like, it's great. It's very unfortunate, however, that I was in a situation where I didn't really have the opportunity to go out and do as much as I probably may have wanted to or could have done. So there's a lot of y'all that I wish I got to go out and meet, just like when I was living out in LA and I got to go out and like got to meet a lot of these artists and cool people that I see their work all over town and stuff. And I didn't get to do that here. But this ain't it, man. Like, I can almost promise you that I'll probably never come back to this town to live. But I will come to this town to play a lot. I got a lot of good friends here. I got a lot of reasons to want to come back here. There's great places for shows here. And Houston is just as much of a home to me as any other place. So, that being said, I am very excited to get back to Atlanta. Atlanta, to me, there's nothing like it. It's my spot. Like, the music, the food, the people, the vibe. Half of what Odio is, like, vibe-wise, is that city. It's not Tokyo. I mean, it's definitely more Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's extremely Japanese. But Atlanta inspires me just
influenced.
But Atlanta,
but environmentally, it's also there too.
Yeah,
because it's where your environment is, how it's making you feel.
Yeah, man. Like, you're just got these buildings, you've got these structures just towering over you, and you're in the middle of it. You're in the mix. There's nothing like an East Coast city, or let's say Southeast Coast city. Like, that's my home, man. And like, it's badass to be able to like go back there with everything that Houston's been able to teach me about, like, how to like handle my shit. Like, if there's anything that I've learned like living out here, it's really like that I'm a motherfucking boss, man. Like, I can like deal with some things, like, and I can roll with punches like anybody. So I'm gonna take that and go back home. I'm gonna be home for a few weeks. Then I'm gonna hit up LA. I got a friend, like a really good friend that lives out in San Diego. Amy, what's up, Amy, if you're listening? We're going to road trip to LA. I'm going to hit up some galleries that I know there. I'm going to hang out with my friend Carlos. You know what I mean? Come back out to Atlanta, get to work. Then in December, your boy is going to Japan. So, like, I'm going to be out there from the 17th, like, all the way through the new year, baby. Like, I'm going to be rolling out there. And you know what? I'm going to be a single guy for the first time ever in Japan. Like, so you know what? I'm going to have a good time. This is all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to get filthy on y'all or anything. Just know, you better believe I'm going to have a good time. Like, shit's going to be fucking lit, son. It's going to be awesome.
And on that note, I think we can call this a wrap on Season 5, Episode 1. Where can we find you, man? Your social media outlets, other than your Tumblr.
Well,
like Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me. I mean, it's pretty easy. Like, mostly all you have to do is type in Odio Art, one word, ODIOART, into your Google search engine, and all my stuff will come up. But if you want to be anal about it, my Tumblr is odioart@tumblr.com. My Facebook is odioart@facebook.com. And my Instagram is Wolfgang_Von_audio_
Jesus Christ.
No, there's no underscore at you're at a Gmail or Instagram or whatever. I don't know. I'm really high. And thanks for having me though, dude. Like, this was really fun. I felt like I rambled a lot. I felt like it was kind of a mess. That weird shit that I was talking about my girlfriend at the end there, like, that was a good like little extra for people. I felt like there's like, oh, now he's got a thing. So
I wouldn't have said it like that, but I mean, it happened. It is what it is, man.
Oh man, it's cool.
It's
like,
out
you
there
know what?
now.
It's cool. You know what, man? Like, and here's something that, like, if I'm ever in a situation, y'all, and I want everyone to pay close attention to me when I say this, because I'll probably never say anything that's more important than what I'm about to say right now. I am such a fuck up in my life that if I ever get into a place where like people like kind of pay attention to me, like, those people should really fucking pay attention to me and do exactly what I don't do. You know? Like, don't date crazy bitches. And, like, focus on your art, man. And don't smoke crack. I learned that from just watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Or PCP, I'm sorry. Don't do that. Don't smoke PCP.
No,
please.
they smoke crack, man.
They smoke crack, too.
D and Dennis get hooked on crack.
Don't smoke crack or PCP. It's probably not a good idea.
No, not really.
But anyway, I love y'all, and thank you for like letting me hang in your city for 2 years and like do art and make connections and meet really cool people, and it's been a blast, and I'm gonna miss it, but I'm coming back for at least one of the art shows.
And you'll always have a home in Houston.
Yes, I'll feel like I do.
You'll always have a home in Houston.
Well, you guys have been nothing but great. So I got nothing but love for this town, man. Like, I can honestly say that I won't go back and I'll be like, fuck Houston. Like, that place is a shithole. No, it's not. It's a wonderful city full of wonderful people, and it's got its own thing. And like, I gotta go back to Atlanta where that's where I got my own thing.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at in my life.
Right.
So
just go back to your roots, man.
don't take it the hard way.
No, man. Sometimes we gotta.
Papa's got to go get some soul food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but sometimes we got to go back to our roots and start over from the beginning to figure out where we're gonna go next.
It's just like an emo song.
We're all a little emo, man. All right, guys, that's it. You know where to follow us on Twitter at KOH Podcast. And, of course, if you go to lewdcomplex.com and use our promo code KOH Podcast, that's KOHPODCAST at checkout, you can save yourself some cash on some pretty cool, etchy, and lewd material for yourself to put on your car, to wear on your chest, to show off to the ladies, and more. Maybe your mom likes lewd stuff. You can get her some lewd air fresheners. You know she'll like it. Grandma too. Get her a nice big titty lewd shirt. Get it for her for Christmas. Christmas is coming up. I know it's only September, but Christmas is coming up, man. Use that promo code KOH Podcast. Save yourself some cash at checkout. Okay, that's it. No more. I'm Vito the Gray. It's been fun. Good night.